For aspiring game developers, Unreal Engine can be a great tool. The problem is, with all the buttons, panels, and menus, where do we even start? Well, in this video, I'm going to use the third person template to walk you through Unreal Engine 5 interface basics, step by step, breaking it down so you can start navigating the engine and building your game confidently. Let's dive in. The first thing you'll notice is this large section taking up most of your engine screen. This is called the viewport. The viewport is the heart of Unreal Engine. It's where you'll spend most of your time designing and testing your levels. At the top of the viewport, you'll see a toolbar with a bunch of different buttons. These buttons allow you to interact with objects in your viewport or how you see these objects. On the left side, it mainly deals with how you view or not view assets in your viewport. You typically won't touch anything on this side when you're first getting started. On the right side, these buttons mainly deal with interacting with assets in your level. The ones we will focus on are the most common ones: select, transform, rotate, and scale. The mouse arrow is the select tool. This allows you to highlight an object and scope to it. The four-way arrow is your translation. This allows you to take a selected object and to move it on one of the three axes, or multiple axes. You can do multiple different axes as well. The two arrows in a circle is rotate. So on a selected object, it allows you to rotate on any of the three axes. This last button is scale. This allows you to take an object and scale it on any of the axes. There's a lot to unpack with the viewport, so we'll go deeper into navigating inside the viewport in another video. Next up, we have the content browser. By default, it's down here on the bottom left. You can also press Control Space to make it open and close. Personally, I prefer to have it open at all times. So to do this, we can hit Dock and Layout, and then we can close the content drawer again. There's our content browser. So think of the content browser as a library. It's where all of your assets live, like models, textures, sounds, and blueprints. So then if we start going into some of these things, so like we'll go into starter content and we'll go into shapes. You can see all these different shapes in here. You can drag these into the world. Another tip, now that we've docked the content browser here, we see a tab for it. Everything that has a tab can be moved around, so we can customize our view fairly easily just by clicking, dragging, and then moving it wherever you prefer. So if we even wanted to come over here and bring it tabbed to get more space here, or we bring it up here. You have all sorts of different options and you can customize this to whatever works best for you. If at any point you want to reset your layout back to the default view, you can always go Window, Load Layout, and then Default Editor Layout. And then this will reload back to the original layout. So then let's open up the content drawer again. You can also do things like dragging out materials onto objects. So like we have some of these objects here. We'll make this guy bigger. And then let's say we want to do, this looks cool. Boom. It'll load the material. And we can change it pretty quick. So it's pretty easy for doing things like prototyping and visually seeing what's going to happen. So then over here on the right, we have the world outliner. This panel lists every object in your level. If the bigger the level you get, the harder it's going to be to keep track of all of your assets. So the larger the level, the more this is going to be useful. You'll find everything in your level over here. And then you can also organize things in folders. When an object is clicked in the World Outliner view, the object inside of the world will get highlighted with that yellow border that you see around the sphere. So it makes it easy to identify which items have been selected. And then you can show and hide. It's a very useful tool to stay organized and to make sure that you know where everything is on your level. Whenever you click on an object, the details panel will show all the properties for it. So down here is the details panel. And then this is where you can do things like tweak settings for the object, like its size, color, or its behavior. Almost everything in Unreal Engine can be customized here, so don't be afraid to experiment. So like as an example, with this cube, we see the static mesh is set to a cube. Here's its location, rotation, and scale. We can modify this. So let's change it like this. And then let's say we want to make it float a little bit. And then we can make it a little bit shorter. And then let's say we want to change its material. You can either click this, the little material selector here, to change it, or similarly to like what we did with the circle here, you can click and then you can drag and drop things on it, and then that'll also change it. Same with this, you can come through and you can change the object however you want. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. As you get more complex objects, you'll have more properties that you can update. At the top, we have the toolbar. This is where you'll find quick actions like saving your project, quickly adding shapes and actors to your level, and playing your game. This is also where you can cut a build for exporting to whatever platform you want. Above the toolbar is the menu bar. This is where you can access more advanced features like project settings and plugins. And that's the Unreal Engine 5 interface in a nutshell. Now that you know what everything does, you're ready to start creating. Let us know in the comments, what's the first thing you plan to create in Unreal Engine 5? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.